Good morning. Thanks for joining me at Coffee with Kory. If it looks like I'm amped up, it's because I am. By the time we have this coffee together, I'll be on a beach in Florida. We're taking a guy's trip this time. First time ever, taking the fellas down to Florida, and could not be more excited about it. A little bit more on that trip to come here in a few minutes. But I've got to give you the rundown on the week. Early in the week, Jossie and I went to the Roundhouse for supper. Probably our favorite place to go here in town. We are fortunate enough to know most of the ownership group there. We've gotten to know other people there. Peaches, the gal that's generally behind the bar, she'll have my Coltrane Porter tapped and ready to go by the time Jossie and I sit down, and it's a good hometown environment, and I love it. And we've joked a little bit about the fact that if we ever do the Coffee with Kory spin-off and do cocktails with Kory, it'll probably be filmed at the Roundhouse. But we get up from the bar to come home the other night, and there's a couple of guys sitting at a table behind us, and the guy taps me and he goes, "Hey, are you Kory Davis?" And I'm like, yeah. And as I come to find out, we've got a mutual friend, Chad, who's going on the trip today. But and so we make small talk. One of his other really good friends, Steve, is an acquaintance of mine as well. And so it was great to meet another new friend. And so thank you so much for introducing yourself, Kyle. I appreciated that. And now the next time we see each other, we won't have to go through the introductions again. We already know each other. So that's one more person. A little bit later in the week, I got my hair cut, and I had to be looking good for the fishing trip. And I walk in, and there's a couple gals back cleaning up their stations, and they look up as I walk in, and I recognize the one gal before, and or because she's cut my hair before. And the other gal goes, "Kory Davis, come on in. We'll get you taken care of." And I was like, wow, I'm racking my brain. I'm like, I know I haven't met her before. Well, as I come to find out, she used to work with Grace Majeski, and Grace had talked to her about how I had walked her down the aisle. She happened to recognize me because she's lived in Sioux Falls for quite some time, it sounds like. And I made the comment, she goes, "I've kind of seen you grow up through your advertising over the years." So clearly the advertising pays off a little bit, and it's probably good to keep the pictures updated like I've tried to in more recent years, so that people have been able to keep up from my hair going from dark to a little bit lighter. But so Sarisa, it was a pleasure to meet you as well, and I'm sure I'll see you again. So I've said it before, I'll say it anytime I'm asked the question. I love it when people will introduce themselves to me. If you recognize me before I recognize you, I'd love the opportunity to meet you. In the immortal words of my good friend Tim Scott, people are my drug. And it always makes my heart happy to meet new people. So I appreciate those of you that have introduced yourself to me this week. Who knows, maybe we'll make more new friends in Florida over the weekend. So it's gonna be great. I've got to touch on real quick the conversation that Chad and I had on New Year's Eve day. I referenced it last week when we got together on Coffee with Kory. He was talking about his word of the year. I'm not going to share Chad's with you. I don't know if that's a public knowledge kind of thing, because I'm not a word of the year kind of guy, but he goes into his with me, and I talked to him about the fact that we don't do that at my office or whatnot, but I mean, not that it's not a good idea. But he goes, "Okay, well, Kory, the next time we talk, I want to know what your word of the year is." I'm like, "I already know what my word of the year is." He seemed a little taken aback, and then I think he was pretty disappointed when I told him my word of the year is consistency. And he goes, "Kory, you're the most consistent guy I know. You can't have a word of the year if that's something that you're already doing." And my point to Chad is that it doesn't matter how consistent you think I am, or maybe that I am in some aspects of my life. There are a lot of other things that I could be more consistent at and better at, and just always keep the focus on. And so it was a good conversation. I appreciated that real conversation with a good friend, and it kind of helped me to refocus and go, okay, if I'm going to say that consistency is my word of the year, I am going to be consistent in all things that I do, I say, my relationship, my friendship, my family, my faith, and the whole deal. So I will try to continue to reflect at the end of every day and be as consistent as I can be, and try and do everybody proud, myself included. So that's that. I've got to touch on one last thing before I let you go. So when I'm done recording here with you, we're heading to the airport. And again, Chad's always got a plan. He's always got something up his sleeve. So he reaches out. So it's Chad, Jeremy, and Kory, and myself that are going. And so Chad reaches out to Kory and I, and he's like, "Hey guys, make sure that you wear your Jeremy shirts when we go to the airport this morning." So that there's our Jeremy shirt. So that we can get another photo at the airport with our Jeremy shirts on. Because we did that earlier this year during one of the football games at the tavern, and we all got a good kick out of it. So hopefully that'll go over well at the airport this morning. We'll have a safe flight out, and by the time we're having this coffee together, the four of us guys will be on Bean Point, and I'll be sharing the joy that I get out of Florida with some of my very best friends. So thank you very much for tuning in to Coffee with Kory, and I hope to see you again next week.